The top teams snubbed from the college football playoff, and what they are doing instead. College football playoff season has finally arrived, and over the course of the next 4 weeks, the best teams across America will battle it out to decide the nation's best collegiate football team. But while it's the most wonderful time of the year for the 12 teams selected to feature in this season's climax, for those who have been snubbed from the new playoff system, it came as an unwelcome, early lump of coal. As always, at this time of year, the selection process is met with expected controversy. Who were the biggest teams to miss out this time around, and how will they be spending their holiday season after being omitted by the committee? Let's take a look. Alabama Crimson Tide. For many, the biggest exclusion from the playoffs is Bama. The Tide finished the season with a 9-3 record, and is the only team ranked inside the top 12 of the KF Selection Committee's final rankings to have not made it to the playoffs. The committee chose the 11-2 SMU Mustangs, citing the AC team's unbeaten regular season conference record as the deciding factor. We looked at the number of wins that Alabama had against ranked opponents. We looked at SMU's schedule, and they were undefeated in conference. Their losses were to ranked teams, but we also looked at Alabama's loss to unranked teams, said Ward Manuel, the University of Michigan athletic director who serves as chair of the committee. We value strength of schedule. That's why Alabama, as a 3-loss team, is ranked ahead of other teams that have 2 losses, Manuel explained. We just felt that in this particular case, SMU still had the nod at 10 above Alabama. But it's no disrespect to Alabama's strength of schedule. The powerhouse is missing the playoffs for just the 3rd time since the TF began in the 2014 season, and the Crimson Tide could now change how it chooses its future opponents after this year's snub. I want to play competitive games. We want to play the best games, Alabama head coach Kalen Deboer said after missing out. It definitely wasn't rewarded, it felt like, with our schedule, and the wins we had against teams that were ranked, or now ranked, or even ranked at the time. The Crimson Tide will instead have to settle for playing in the Reliaquest Bowl and face last year's champion, the Michigan Wolverines, in Tampa, Florida. Despite the disappointment, Deboer said his team will be making the most of the last game of their season. Miami Hurricanes. Another team on the cusp of the KF was Miami. Led by Heisman Trophy finalist and star quarterback Cam Ward, the team finished with a 10-2 record on the season, but ended up no. 13 in the final TF rankings. In the December 3, Week 14 rankings, the Hurricanes were ranked no. 12, behind the Crimson Tide, which ultimately ended their hopes of clinching a playoff berth, much to the dismay of Miami athletic director Dan Radakovich. Really? What put Bama over the top of Miami for the last spot, and is that Miami went 1-2 in their last 3 games, by an average of 4.5 Peats, to a ranked Syracuse and Jeet team that just took Yuga to 8-0. He posted on X after the rankings were revealed. Bama went 2-1, to 5-7 Auburn, destroyed by O, and beat FTS Mercer. Radakovich has since suggested that the timing of the final rankings needs to be changed looking ahead to future years after Manuel said some teams were locked in following Week 14's rankings. It was a really difficult 4 or 5 days for the players, both at Alabama and our place, Radakovich said per ESPN, ahead of Miami's bowl game. They'll do a ranking before Thanksgiving. You probably just let that stand, and then you have the championship games, and then the committee gets together that weekend, and they make their final rankings, Radakovich added. While the Hurricanes missed out on the playoffs, they do have the small silver lining of playing in the now iconic Pop-Tarts Bowl. The Hurricanes will take on the Iowa State Cyclones for the chance to get their hands on the brand new Pop-Tarts Bowl trophy, which features a fully functioning toaster to prepare the winners' post-game treats. South Carolina Gamecocks. It would not be the college football playoff if a local public figure didn't weigh in on their team's outcome, and Daniel Rickenman, mayor of Columbia, South Carolina, certainly made his feelings known. The Gamecocks should be in the college football playoffs. Rickenman posted to Facebook before stating he would be taking the decision further. The KEF committee's recent ranking is a mistake. For this reason, I'm introducing a resolution of support for the Gamecocks to be in the college football playoff at the next City Council meeting. The Gamecocks deserve a spot in the playoffs, and we've been excited because of their hard work this entire season.